Yo, what's up, y'all? It's MMA Analyst here to do my recap for Strikeforce Miami. Pretty good card. It had its ups, it has its downs, highlights, knockouts. But yeah, pretty damn good. I will say, there were some things I didn't expect to see, some things that I was happy to see, and some things I wasn't too happy to see. But instead of all this vague foolishness, let me just get right into what I'm talking about. Let's go to the main event. Nick Diaz versus Zaromskis. Damn. Diaz's hands, I knew his hands were, that's why he's, you know what I mean? I actually picked against, one of my top 5 favorite fighters. I thought that, the wildness of Zaromskis would catch him. It did catch him. But, just like when Gomi caught him, he kind of gets knocked down. He kind of sits down calm, gathers himself, comes back, into the fray. I can't, damn, handle his business. I'm glad he did. His stand-up is just so nice. Just, he made quick work. Normally what takes, 2.5, 3 rounds of bangaroo took, a good, 4 minutes and something seconds. Dropped him with the short hook. He just really rattled Zaromskis' brain. Really, Zaromskis wasn't on his level. And, that was known before the fight. I just figured, the power and the aggression of Zaromskis, could catch him and, maybe end it. And it didn't. And Diaz is a beast. He went out there and actually dominated. Even though he got knocked down, Diaz dominated. And, it's a good win for Diaz. Damn, dog. Handling business, let's do it some more. Let's get Diaz a fight, in April for sure. I don't want to have to wait till April, but I'm saying, I don't want to see him on like a card before April, and then we can't put him on the CBS card. But yeah, he's the Strikeforce champ, for his weight class there, the welterweight, and we will see what happens next. Excellent work by Nick Diaz. I don't know if I said Nate Diaz at all for this, but if I did say Nate Diaz, I meant Nick, obviously. If I didn't, then I don't know what I'm talking about. Yo, by the way, I can't find my suit jacket, for real. And I gotta figure out this video situation, man. I can't have the sound making sense and the video not working. So, yeah, thank you, everybody, for your response, and let me know exactly what the situation is. I'm going to keep the setup. I'm going to stick with this, and we're going to try and, get the whole look taken care of. All right. Anyways, now let's jump to the fight that happened before that. Damn, Cyborg Santos versus Conan. That was a good fight. A lot of people, they dog the women. They don't like the women fights. Blah 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 blah. This and this and that. I can't really hate on fights like this. You've got, two experienced fighters who aren't gassing, who aren't just brawling wildly, who are, using skill and ability, trained hard, obviously, in preparation. They came out and did their thing. Cyborg was able to stuff one really, really late takedown attempt. It was a late stuff. Conan came in, went for the takedown after, amidst a couple punches, and she still stuffed it. And, Conan was in there. I was like, whoa. When that happened, I said, she's not getting this fight to the ground. And she's not getting the fight to the ground. She's not winning this fight. And even if she does get it to the ground, like, who knows what would happen. But Cyborg is just an animal out there. Really, the situation is, it's just there's not enough female fighters that are really even on the level, her size, to really challenge her. Carano fought. I think if Carano fought Conan might even win. Based on what I was looking at, it looked like that was a tougher fight. And I don't want it to look like MMA math. I'm just saying, it definitely looked like Conan, went out there and did her thing, and just couldn't deal with the anti-jiu-jitsu game that she was playing, the strength that Cyborg was playing, the strikes. She took a hard hit. I'm like, wow, she took a solid hit and was just like, and what? my turn. So, yeah, it's kind of like she got, bam, Cyborg looked back and, was like, no. But anyways, hey, man, I'll say that was a good fight. Those two fights were on point. Diaz handling his damn business. Zaromskis just, wow. In over his head. And Cyborg just going out there and being the beast that she is and just handling business. Much props to Marlos Kunin, though, for going out there and just being tough and sticking it out and continuing to move forward. But in the end, when she had her hands, she went for that last shoot and she gave it everything she had. It was the fastest one she did. And she looked like she ran into a wall, and not like a brick wall, like a titanium wall. She was like, and just dropped to the ground. And Cyborg was like, you know what, this fight is over. I'm just going to do my thing. So, now let's talk about Herschel Walker versus Greg. They were calling him Nudge. I don't know what language this is or where he's from or, exactly how they pronounce names in that country. But anytime I see N-A-G-Y, I don't see Nudge, But if it's Nudge, it's Nudge. I just, but it don't matter. I don't think I'm going to have to say his name much anymore anyways. He came out, had absolutely no striking ability. His ground game was maybe he knew how to try and set up a high guard, and maybe he knew how to try and set up some arm bars off his back. He was definitely flexible. I don't know if he's been doing MMA for long, but I know he's been doing yoga or stretching, just, what is it, yoga, Pilates. This dude was flexible. You try and do that to me, I'll tap. You can't do that to me, though, because I don't let you put me in that position, because I know punk. But anyways. So, before we talk about Herschel Walker, Greg was the perfect opponent for a guy that was 0-0 and 47 years old and in really good shape and actually trained. So, Greg, MMA, dog, it ain't it. That ain't it. Everybody has a calling. MMA's not your calling, dog. Just let it go. As for Herschel Walker, 47 years old, donating his purse to charity, telling all the fans stop booing people, it's hard work, being very polite, having the perfect answers. This guy used to be, and we know who he is, but I'm saying he said, how did you do what you did? He said, I didn't do anything right. My team. I'm like, wow, this guy's down for his squad. When are you going to quit? Are you going to keep going? I don't know. It's not up to me. This guy knows. This guy's done a few press conferences in his life. But, yeah, he definitely was on the feet. Very, very small steps. Very, very small steps. Very, very narrow base against a solid wrestler. And, of course, it's 0-0. Normally, this kind of fight we wouldn't even be seeing at all. It would just be like the first fight on an undercard. It started at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and the televised portion starts at 9 or something. So normally we wouldn't be watching this fight, but we did because of the name situation. His stand-up, he knows how to jab, but he's very shaky, not because of age. He knows how to jab, and but his stance is very shallow. But even in that, he was able to stuff a couple takedowns from Gregory, and he was strong. But again, it's relative to who he was fighting. He was fighting a guy that was 1-1, not very strong, not big. He only came in at 214, so he's not a hulking heavyweight, but definitely in shape. He was able to do his thing. He did everything nice and slow. He wasn't like a lot of guys. They get out there and they flail around and they get antsy and they do all types of dumb stuff. You can't really understand what they're doing, and they look like complete amateurs. If you didn't tell somebody that this was a first-time guy, they would not think he was the greatest of all time, but they definitely wouldn't be like, who is this noob? He came out, got some takedowns, slams, some trips, pass guard, calm, got into, north-south, moved from side to side with side control, shut down shut down, shut down the guard when he was in it, opened the guard when he needed to, took the back. I mean, hey, what you want a guy to do? He went out there and he moved properly. It's, you know what I mean? It is what it is. And he had like a 4-pack, but his 4-pack on his abs were bigger than like most people's whole, like these were like biceps stuck in his stomach. I'm just saying, it's got nothing to do with the fight. But this is a 47-year-old man with young people muscle. You know, old people muscle, there's like young people muscle, which is like what young people have. Then there's like old people muscle. Like Randy's got middle, like he's an old guy, but he doesn't yet have old people muscle. You want to look at old people muscle, look at like Ken Shamrock. And if you want to look like really old people muscle, then look at like those old wrestlers like Hulk Hogan and, those dudes that like their muscles are just all, ugh. Like you don't even want those muscles. You'd rather have fat. This guy got young people, big muscle. Anyways, he's in shape. Did his thing. Is he going to fight again? We'll see. If he does, he's going to have to fight another beginner. Put him up against a really good wrestler. He'll get taken down. We didn't get to see his jiu-jitsu off his back, but I'm sure it's not the greatest. How could it be? We didn't really get to see his striking. It can't be all that great. I saw him punching the punching bag. It looked like he was worried the punching bag was going to strike back. So we'll see. I can't imagine he'll have more than 3 fights in his career. He'll probably win maybe 1, 2, 3 fights and then quit. So what do you want from the dude? He's 47 years old, trying to prove something to himself, trying to add something else to his, to his legacy. So I can't hate on it. And he's giving the money to charity. Good work. On to the next. Robbie Lawler versus Marlon Manhoef. Damn. Got this one wrong, but if you look at the difference of the level of striking, oh my goodness. Melvin Manhoef was out there doing proper whatever. The only thing he did wrong was, what caused the issue, was dropping his hands. But man, combinations. He was kicking that leg, and Robbie Lawler wasn't checking the leg kick properly. Melvin Manhoef throws those kicks all the time, and the other dude's leg doesn't move because he checks it properly. He was catching this dude on the inside of the opposite leg and kicking his leg up in the air, looking like he was one of the Rockettes. Damn. But, yeah, he was getting his ass whooped. It was something like, he took 15 kicks to the legs, hard kicks. He got his ass beat. And, nobody said that Robbie Lawler doesn't have power in his hands. And that Robbie Lawler can't knock out anybody that weighs 185 pounds. Nobody said that. And he was like, oh, keep dropping your hand. Keep dropping your hand. Well, I'm going to drop bow. And then did the one extra one for good measure. Put Melvin Manhoef in, he was in La La Land. So, yeah. Robbie Lawler, that's a nice win for anybody, Even though if you watch that fight, you're like, oh, wow, this guy's getting his ass whooped, and he got a win in the end. But, hey, a win is a win. Good win for him. As for Melvin Manhoef, damn. It would have been nice to see all that ass whooping turn into an actual win, but, it ends up being a loss. We'll see what happens next. Melvin Manhoef's not going anywhere. He's fighting somewhere, whether it be K1 kickboxing, whether it be Dream, MMA, whether it be Strikeforce MMA, He's doing his thing. He'll be back. They'll put him out there against somebody, and someone's going to get knocked out, or he's going to get tapped out. One or the other. So, that was a pretty good fight as well. Bobby Lashley versus Wes Sims. Man, that is some stupidity. First of all, early stoppage. No reason to stop that where it was. But really, that fight couldn't have been stopped early because that was just a terrible fight. On with the next one. That was terrible. Wes Sims... thing about Wes Sims is, like, I don't mind people having, gimmicks. But Wes Sims, I believe, has the gimmick so that he can fight. Without the gimmick, maybe he won't get fights. So he acts a fool, because that might help him get fights. But y'all know he can't be getting fights, because people think he's a contender or anything. He's getting fights because he fought in the UFC a couple times. Lost all of them. And, he acts a fool, and then he loses. And, the fight was a pretty bad fight. Not really impressed with Bobby Lashley, but I'm happy that he's just doing his thing nice and slow, taking it slow. Can't really take it any slower, Bobby. You gotta actually fight somebody soon. I'm not saying top 10. I'm not even saying top 20. And it's not your fault. People are backing out, and it's hard to get a fight, and you end up getting Wes Sims. He's watching TV, watching himself get his ass whooped on Tough, and now, he's fighting you on, 8 days notice, and he comes in out of shape, and he normally comes in out of shape anyways. Not your fault, but let's try and test yourself a little more. Let's see what happens. Just test it. That's all I'm saying. I can't really watch that forever. And then EA Sports, man, damn, y'all effed up. They said they were going to stream this. If you guys are going to go out and say you're going to do something that nobody asked you to do, then do it, because then people expect you to do it. I saw people getting angry. I'm not buying the MMA game because they didn't give me the thing that they promised. I'm like, yo, this wasn't going to be televised anyways. They were doing something, out of the goodness, even though it was advertising, of their hearts, and they effed up. So that's some bad publicity for them. For those who know, basically EAs who don't know, EA Sports was supposed to stream it live for free on the EA Sports MMA website, and basically they failed. Epic fail. Terrible. So overall, good night of fights. I'll be back real soon. Next week, I got to cover, UFC Doodoo Brown, because that's what it is. I don't know if it's 109, 110. I don't know what one it is, but to be completely honest, I think there are, just to let you know where I'm coming from, 20 fights. 20 fighters, I think, next week, and 3 of them are coming off wins. The rest of them are coming off losses, and one of the guys coming off a win is Mark Coleman. So, I know that they're busted up with a lot of injuries and just weird. Just everybody got injured. But I'm not excited for this at all. Not even in the least bit. There are a couple fights, but I'm going to still do my thing. I'm still going to be here. I'm going to have this camera thing hooked up, I believe, by then. Maybe try and get my official jacket, set up. I don't know. Maybe try and get one of those little things here that says EA, that says like, MMA XL, but I already got that on the screen anyways. Yo, by the way, if anybody knows how to properly put together a blog site, I don't need something crazy. I got the website name. I got the domain name. If y'all know how to do a blog site, I'm not saying for free either. If you want to do it for free, I'm not going to hate on you. But I'm not saying for free. So keep that in mind. Hit me up, man. Hit me up. I'm trying to get some stuff done, man. I got a baby on the way. This is my time for my infinite moment. Eminem had to do his thing when he found out Lil Haley was coming. So he put out Infinite. This is my infinite time, y'all. I got to get something done. MMA, y'all. It's important. Peace.